Guys, welcome back to the channel and I'm back with a new banger video. It is one of the most controversial and hot topic in today's forum, which is resistant bands or free weights. Are the resistant bands as effective as the free weights? Can you build muscle and lose fat by just training with resistant bands? Are they effective as free weights? So let's get deep dive into it and let's get started. Right. So before the COVID pandemic had occurred, the gyms were shut down, right? So people were restrained and barred from entering the gyms because of the COVID pandemic increase in the cases, the masks were on, and the social distancing got induced, and several other restrictions got formulated which made people to confine a specific into a which made people to confine in a specific location, right? So they were probably stuck at home with just a laptop and they were searching on internet like how can we build muscle now just by sitting at home in front of the laptop or TVs and just watching movies or any other browsing on the internet, which might ultimately affect your health and detrimentally, and it might lead to weight gain unnecessary. You might become lazy, you might suffer from several other ailments, and most of the people majority of people were suffering from obesity, and this as a factor had become really detrimental for the people's health. So they started on were browsing on Amazon, they started browsing on several other online forum websites, and they found out that resistant bands. So this came into an effect of how resistant bands can play a vital role in building muscle and losing fat. Now resistant bands since then and since the COVID pandemic had occurred became really popular to a large segment of people, and many people started ordering resistant bands. They they felt that they wouldn't needed to go to the gym and spend hours of traveling time, and all those stuff got drastically reduced. And as a result, the resistant bands played a very vital, significant role in people's lives. So that came as an impact of resistant bands. What are resistant bands? The resistant bands are made up of rubber. So basically, there are two categories of resistant bands. One is the tube bands, and the other one is loop bands. So what is tube bands? What is loop bands? We're gonna go deep into the details. So basically, tube bands are made up of rubber. They are elastic. You can stretch it as hard as long as possible. You can stretch in every direction, upward, verticals. And the loop resistant bands are probably most stretchable. They're probably used for compound exercises like squats or maybe bench press, assisted pull-ups, several other various other exercises which target your multiple joints in the body. So there are two categories of resistant bands. So to do the one which I own personally is the resistant tube bands. So the tube bands are probably they come in various other resistant levels. So probably the 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds, and the 50 pounds. So probably I purchased the resistant tube bands in around $50 or $60. Probably you can check out the price on Amazon as well. So probably the resistant tube bands are probably really durable. They probably last more than a year. Uh, but after a minimum of tenure of at least a year, they probably lose their elasticity and durability, and as a result, probably you might have to buy replace it with a new one probably. So basically, that is a disadvantage, and there is a bit of con for resistant bands. But are they effective as free weights in building muscle? So let's talk about that. So free weights are they act against the gravity. So let's say if you grab a 5 pound dumbbell and if you start bicycles, so basically you there is not enough range of motion. As soon as I release the dumbbell, I cannot further go downwards towards the eccentric motion. While I pull up, the dumbbell comes in between. in dumbbell comes in between my biceps, so I can't go further more. The same case when I start doing the same curls with resistant bands, there is greater amount of resistance implied on my muscle, which destroys, which creates a significant damage to muscles, which then ultimately releases, which then creates a harder impact on my muscles and forces the muscle to grow for even furthermore as compared to the free weights. So it doesn't mean that it does free weights are ineffective against resistance bands. It's just that due to the higher range of motion while doing exercises with the resistant band, there is a greater tension, there is constant tension on the muscle mass to constant tension on the muscle to increase more muscle. So if you're doing bicep curls, if you're doing tricep extension, chest presses, or maybe shoulder presses, there is a greater chance that the time under tension, there is a time under tension creates a dramatic impact on your muscle growth. And thereby, I strongly agree that the resistant bands are as effective as the free weights because the time under tension, there's a constant tension on the muscle and there's constant fatigue, which makes you really sore that you cannot even go beyond that one rep once you're exhausted, right? So there is so many other resistant bands. These are the two categories I had discussed about resistant bands. So one was a loop band, the other one was a tube bands. Tube bands are probably you can stack up the resistant levels. So the more amount of bands you stack up, the higher the resistant level goes up. The resistant levels is upscale dramatically. For example, in case of loop bands, there is not amount of resistance you can go. Like say, if you get the loop bands, it's probably more durable. They last longer than tube bands, primarily because of the strong elasticity and durability. But the major consequence of that is you cannot progress, or maybe you can start resistance beyond that level. So probably the loop bands last longer than a year, whereas the tube bands they tend to lose their durability elasticity within a short period of time, let's say within a year. So probably you will have to replace it with a new one with the same amount of piece. That is the only consequence of tube bands. As I said that I have been using resistant tube bands for over the past 1.5 year, and I have been gained at least 5 to 10 pounds very easily with that. Along with that, focusing with my diet, make sure I have adequate protein intake, make sure I'm in caloric deficit, I am meeting my carb requirements, make sure my diet is clean, and once I meet all those ailments, once I um, meet all these points, all these factors, you might see tremendous amount of changes in your body. You might see that you are gaining a lot of muscle, you are getting bigger, your arms are getting bigger, your shoulders are getting more bolder, your back is getting more width. At the same time, you're developing thickness also in your back by doing rows, dumbbell rows. You can do several other movements as well. So basically, let me illustrate these several exercises which we can do with the resistant bands. So basically, you get a door anchor. The door anchor, if you place it on the top of the door, you can do exercises such as lat pull down, maybe single arm lat pull down, maybe close grip lat pull downs, which are present in the gym. You can see probably in the gym. So probably all those exercises which are present in the gym, all those equipments, you can similarly do the same exercises by attaching the door anchor on the top of the door. You just have to open the door and make sure the resistant band is squeezed inside. Close the door and make sure the band is attached into the door, and you can regularly start doing your exercises. So basically, if you attach the door anchor on the top of the door, you can do exercises such as the lat pull down, T-bar rows. Then you can see close grip pull downs. If you attach the door anchor into the midway, let's say the midway of the door, you can do exercises such as tricep kickbacks. You can do closed grip dumbbell flies. You can also do standing rows, standing rows exercises such as. Also, if you can, attach the door anchor at the really bottom rear end of the door, and for in that case, you can do several other exercises as well, such as seated cable rows. You can do even standing incline dumbbell fries, which primarily targets your upper chest development. Okay, then you can even do the single arm dumbbell rows with the bands by stacking up the resistance levels. Obviously, so first, you can start with one band, one resistance level, so slowly and drastically after a couple of weeks, keeping raising the resistance levels like to level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Furthermore, so by doing all these, by incorporating all these exercises, you can dramatically see a massive amount of changes in your body within a couple of, let's say, 3 to 4 weeks. You can also train legs. You can do squats. You can do leg press. You can do leg extensions as well, which the equipments are present in the gym as well. So you can do several other exercises incorporating with these resistant bands primarily, so you need not spend that gym membership fees uh, in going outside, traveling to the gym, taking your car. You can save a lot of petrol, you can save traveling time, you can save a gym membership fee, and several other factors. Just order a pair of resistant bands and you're good to go. You're good to start. And you can see some serious amount of gains. You're getting jacked up, you're getting beefed up. That's it, guys. So, the resistant bands are very useful, guys. My ratings would be 10 out of 10 for resistant tube bands. I haven't used much about I haven't used the resistant loop bands, but I can definitely say the resistant loop bands are very good. The feedback is really good. Or the only thing is you can't stack up the resistance levels into the resistant loop bands, but in case of resistant loop bands, you can dramatically upscale the resistance levels, which furthermore creates a dramatic impact on your muscle growth, and the recovery is dramatically improvised as well. So I would say thumbs up, go for the resistant bands and get your body jacked up, guys. Till then, I will see you in the next vlog. Don't forget to like the video, comment, share, subscribe. If you have any inquiries, guys, do comment me down below, or maybe you can DM me on Instagram, or maybe you can personal message me on my WhatsApp. My WhatsApp number I will link down in the description below. Till then, peace. Okay.